Hello everybody. Today I'm going to give you a demonstration on my new onboarding app that I made for HR personnel or just for people to onboard in a company. So let's switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. When you open up the app, it's going to look like this. The onboarding application will pop up and you'll have some options here. On the left side, you'll see there's a listing of people that have been successfully onboarded. And then over here, this button will take you to the onboarding directory where you kind of launch everything from it's where you'll launch everything. Okay. And then I actually integrate a user search as well. Okay. So if you got a person has got an account, you can find their name just by typing it in a people picker or a person or group field, kind of like it does in SharePoint. And I also integrated where you can select a team that you're a part of and look for a person on one of your teams. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started with this. We're going to do the currently onboard employees first. Okay, so we're going to come in here, we're going to click on this button. It's going to open up the directory and then it's going to sync with SharePoint. It'll bring up your listing from SharePoint. Right now I got it sorted by the ID number. So the newest one will be up top. And you can set this however you want. I mean, realistically, most of the time you're going to be doing it by their last name. But as you go across here, you'll see that it's got the ID number is the ID of the item inside SharePoint. Okay. Then you got their picture if it's got a picture, either in Active Directory or if you manually upload one. Their last name, their first name, section, directorate, team, whatever you want to call it, would go here. Their email address, that's AD Active Directory email address. And then you got the three icons on the right. The first icon will take you to the edit form of that person that's onboarded. So edit form is essentially the same thing as the new form. It's just pulling the information in and preloading all the data for you. So if you want to update it, you can. The next icon is going to take you to the data card, which we'll get into here in a little bit. And then this last button right here, that looks like a trash can. It's not, it doesn't delete anything. It will set it to archive, so it'll remove the name from the list, but it's still stored in SharePoint. So if that person upwards and they may come back someday, you already got the record set up, so all you gotta do is bring it in. Now, I haven't set up any functionality to bring that person back, but it's not hard to do. It'd take you like 5 minutes to set it up. It's just creating another gallery and having to do a pop-up like you said. You can put a little button up here that says Archive Personnel. You click on it, it does a pop-up, shows a person, and then if you want to move them back, you just say unarchive or something back. But we're not going to, I don't have that set up currently. Okay. Now down here, if you got this arrow right here, if there's more people, you can scroll up and down, right? Or you can just use the roller on your mouse. Do the same thing. Okay. Across the top, you got this home button here. This home button takes you back to the page you came from just a minute ago. Okay, this is your title. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is the label that's at the top of the page, if you click on it, it will refresh with SharePoint, in case you don't have up-to-date data. This is going to take you to the user search, which we'll talk about later, which is the same user search you saw on the front page. And then this is going to take you to your new form. So like if you want to onboard somebody that isn't there, you do that. So we're gonna deal with that first. Okay. So we're gonna click the little plus sign here. It'll open up the new form. Once it does its syncing, should pop up your picture right here if you have an account. Okay. So my picture showed up. So first thing you're gonna do is say log on account created. If you don't have one created, you click no, and it will it'll bring these fields up, but they'll be blank. have to manually fill in everything yourself because you don't have an account. So it's probably best if they have an account, because watch what happens when I hit yes. Oh my god. Oh, why it does it. I need to figure out what's doing it. Now this is going to have a few bugs in it because it's not, I'm not completely finished with it. All right, so you're going to pick your name. So I'm just gonna pick somebody at random. So we will put this guy. Okay. It has a picture. It'll preload it over here, and then it'll fill in the last name, first name, email address, phone number, and their job if it's an Active Directory. Okay. He doesn't have an employee ID, which is a property of Azure, but these people, the ones that came with my environment, don't have that stuff. So we're just going to put some random numbers in here. And then phone number, you put 10 digits in. When you click off of it, it will actually reformat it for you. Just like work phone. If it's just numbers, if you get 10 numbers there, it'll reformat it. It's not correct. All right. And then once you fill in all these boxes up here, all these will pop up. Okay. So all this stuff is pulling from Active Directory. Now this is one field, actually. It's the location property. And since it had a slash between the building number and the room number, I just adjusted the property so that way it pulls the correct number of characters from that field. Okay. Now when you hit create record down here, what it does is it creates a brand new record inside SharePoint. Okay. What it's going to do, it's going to create a document. It's basically a special folder. And the reason I did document sets instead of a list is because we're going to be storing files on this thing, and it's easy to manage the files in a library versus a list. And document set just creates a folder for to store those files in, so that it keeps it organized by person. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit create record. If it works, it takes about 20 seconds, and it'll come back to your directory listing. While I was building this thing, that stuff never came up. Anyhow, as you can see, it made a new line here. It's got that person's information in it. Okay. Now, one thing I did do on here is if it's not your account, like your email address don't match, it's going to disable this button right here. As you can see for mine, it's active, rest or not. All right, so we're gonna go over the edit. Okay, the edit form is the same form we're just in, except it pulls the information from that record. Okay, so you're gonna click this. As you see, everything came up and everything changed. It's got all my stuff in here. But you'll notice a few differences, right? It says edit record up here, edit user right here instead of new user. And then down here, it says update record instead of create record. So if I change, say the zip code here, right? Something else, and I hit update record, and then I go back into it, it should keep it. That's how I know it wrote to SharePoint. Okay, because all these fields are in SharePoint. Now, if you don't make if you don't need to save anything, there's two ways you can do it. You can either hit update record, just don't touch anything, or you can just hit the X up here, and it'll take you back to the directory. Okay. Next thing we're going to go over is the second icon. This is our data card icon. Okay, so I'm going to record we just got. I'm going to grab it. You click on it, it's going to change screens, and it's going to bring his record up. Now, we're going to start on the left side here. You got three icons. You got your home icon, which takes you back to the very first screen we're on. You got this button right here that'll take you back to the directory we're just in. And then you got this button right here that will switch you between the user search and the team search, which we'll talk about after we're done with the onboarding. Okay. Now, in the next section over here, you got information on, and then the last name and first name of the person. If they are an onboarded person, this onboarded label will pop up, so you know that this person has been onboarded already. And the other way you can tell too is you look over here, there's 4 tabs. If they're not onboarded, they only show 2. Because they're not None of the information in these tabs are going to be populated, so there's no point of showing blank fields, right? Then you got your Meet Your Team button right here. When you click on it, anybody who's in your section or your team or whatever will show up in a gallery with their contact information. So we click that. All right, so he's on the manufacturing team, but there's nobody onboarded that is in that team. So let's go back to the directory. Let's go, I know the sales team has a lot of, so let's grab one of those. All right, this guy's in the sales team. Yeah, real original, right? John Doe. So if you click the team, you'll see there's 2 people on the team with him. He gives them their last name, first name, email address, their position, and their work phone. Now you can put as much information as you want. This whole area is open for that person. I just put a few basic stuff in here. Whatever you want to put in here, you can put in here. All right. Now moving over here. Now for some reason that person's picture isn't showing. Let's grab somebody else. Let's do this person. Stay in the sales team. There we go. All right, so it grabs the record and populates all the information into the form. So you get your last name, first name, employee ID, cell phone, their computer status, you know, if their account's enabled or not, and their local address to their house. Okay, so you can put more in this in here. You know, there's a lot of space here. So you can do next of kin, you can do, you know, if the person has 401k, stuff like that, you know. Because once this is filled in, it's confident, it's sensitive information, so it's going to get protected. Okay, that's why I have it so no one can edit other people. Okay. Next is work. Work same way. Okay. Now, if any of these fields turn out blank, it will the app will hide them. Okay. So you got section, job title, email address, work email address, work phone, the claims ID, which is essentially their network ID, and then their email address afterward. And then you got whoever their supervisor name, and then the building room number that they work in. Okay, which a lot of this stuff you put in the main form. Now these 2 are going to, nothing populates in these originally. You have to add stuff to it. Okay, so training. So everybody knows when you start a new job, you have to do training. You have to do initial training, and then you have to do annual training. So I put required and optional here, but you could put initial training here, and then annual trainings here. And I just put course 1 through 8 because I didn't want to use any names. So this is course number 1, course number 2, course number 3. Okay. Now, say you complete the course, right? And you need to upload your training. So you're going to click the little plus sign here. You're going to hit attach new certificates. And then you're going to navigate to your certificate. Say that's your certificate. Upload it for some reason. Huh. Okay, it's being weird. So you can drag and drop. For some reason, that open button is being, see? All right, so you're gonna hit, so once you get it uploaded, you can close that and then hit upload all certs here. What it's gonna do, it's gonna upload it to your document set. And then once it successfully uploads, it's gonna put today's date in here. And then it's gonna bring a link back going to that training cert that you just uploaded. It'll put a link right just to the immediate left of that date box. Okay. And you just fill this in. And this will give you the current date of everything. So, and then when you need to redo it, every time you upload a different, you know, it'll overwrite it, but it keeps a history, right? I have their version history turned on. I put like 20 copies, so there shouldn't be mods in the thing here. So you can go in there and you could look up, you know, previous documents if you want, even though they got the same name. Okay, and that's training. HR checklist. Now this is what you do when you get hired on. You know, your human resources department has certain requirements they have to fill to say you're onboarded, right? So I know the 4 things I did is these 4 right here. Now, a lot of companies, if you're got a clearance, your local trust, I think it's called local trust. It's like the security clearance for civilians, but they have to do a local background check. We could probably add that in here too if you wanted to. But these first four are automated. Okay. Once a form has been entered here, this toggle will go from the left to the right. That's how you know it's been done. So let's go ahead and add something in here. It's the same upload box. It says certificates, which I probably should remove. All right, so we're going to put this, say this is good. Okay, that works. All right. All right, so once you upload your thing, you hit upload certs. What it's going to do, it's going to upload it. Once it's uploaded, it's going to bring the link back and put it in the form. Now, this comes back too fast sometimes. That's why I put this little button up here. This refreshes the data. Okay, so you click that, and boom, there's your form. Okay, and if you want to open it to make sure it uploaded right, you just click on the link. It'll open up another tab. Oh, there it goes. It's just slow. All right, so there's your picture. That's what I uploaded here. All right, so, and you'll notice that the toggle went from left to right. Now, besides these four right here, all the rest of this is manual, okay? There's no way for SharePoint to know you did all these things, unless there's some kind of certification, right? With like a certificate that you get for completing that particular task. So, like I got it set up where it says, here's your Teams call that you had with them, and then here are the topics that they talked about, and you can check out. So, like if say they didn't stay for the whole meeting, they did the first three, but not the last one. You can check, leave this unchecked, leave this unchecked, and that gives you a status. This one don't turn green until all these turn green. Okay. We could automate that part, because these are all they're all subtasks of welcome path set out. When you send it out, you can flip the toggle on or verify when they get it. Recruiter check-in, check-in surveys, so on and so forth. Just different things you can do. Okay. So that's the onboarding portion of this. So it basically gives you a working copy, and this is set up so that way the employees can look up their own stuff too. They can see, like you could put parentheses when what date of the year everything needs to be completed by, so they know. So let's go back to the main screen. So we went over this part, so that we talked about. Now, last two things is these two things. Okay. Search by person's name. When you click on that, it's going to bring you in here. So many errors keep popping up. It says enter your name of contact. Okay, so you're going to put whoever you're looking for. They got to be an active directory though, or be a guest. Like they don't have to be an email address that you control. It can be anybody, as long as they have a guest account. Okay, so we're going to go select somebody random here. Now, if you just had a record up, it's going to be preloaded already, but whenever you select somebody here, it's going to change to that person. It may take a few seconds to show up. Now you'll notice since I did a search, these last two are not showing up because even though he's onboarded, because the way I searched, it's only going to bring these two up. And you'll notice some of the fields are gone. That's because they came up blank. I think one of them was the employee ID and the other one was the employee ID is empty right now. Remember, these two are reading. This is reading from the SharePoint list or SharePoint library. So, it had data in there, but see, it's pulling from Azure, so there's nothing in there. Then we go to work, same thing. Says that the section isn't written in Azure. That's why it's not. Okay, and that's the search. That's the search by person, right? Now it's switched to the team one, so you don't have to go back to. You can go back to the home screen and hit there, but I put a button here just for this. Okay, so you can switch back and forth between the two types. Now you notice when I switched, the icon changed. Now it says switch to team member search. No, I should say team member search. Should say user search. Oh, I guess I screwed that. But It is what it is. This first drop down right here is all the teams you're a member of. Okay. So anything that your name's in as a member or an owner will show up here. Okay. So I'm going to go to this one. Usually got everybody in it. So you just go in here and you select who you want. So let's grab this lady. Okay. Same deal. Personal work and then all the fields. Now you can set it up so it does a lookup, and if it finds the name, if the person's onboarded, you can have it pull the onboard information. But I didn't do that. You know, you can always make these things better. And that's literally the whole app. Okay. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below in the comments below. And if I might actually, if you guys want me to enhance this thing, you want to add certain things, just put it in the comments and I'll add it and I'll redo my video and then I'll re-upload it so you guys can see how. But if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And I hope you have a wonderful day.